Stand Dandy-Liver here. A little bird tells me that you're looking to play Murder Hobo Tavern Brawl. Well, take it from an old warhorse. It's easy to start a fight, but much harder to finish it. Always a lot of fun, though. Ready? Here we go. Murder Hobo Tavern Brawl is a fantasy battle card brawler for 2 to 6 players. In it, you build a hand of unique hero cards in order to launch your weapon and spell combos at your opponent's defenses. When you knock out an opponent's defense cards and deliver a finishing blow, they are out of the game. The last player standing is the winner. There are 2 types of cards in Murder Hobo Tavern Brawl: attack cards and hero cards. First, let's look at attack cards.
Yes, this Moog Face Eater's favorite part.
Quiet, you. Attack cards come in 2 main flavors: red weapon cards and purple spell cards. They can be stacked into combos to deal increasing damage, which is indicated on the card. They need a corresponding hero card to be launched. There's also a golden tankard card. This plays like an attack card, except it can be stacked in any combo to max out the potential of that combo. So, for example, adding it to 1 sword card will make that card count as a full stack of 3 sword cards. Or playing with a magic bolt card will make that card as powerful as a full stack of 4 magic bolt cards. Attack cards can be used in the deployment stage of your turn. The second type of card are hero cards.
Hero is such a loaded term. Can't we just say guy who showed up?
Not now, Bard, the useful people are talking. Hero cards are the cards with character images on them. They serve 3 functions. They can be used as defense, to launch attack cards, or they can use their special ability. And those special abilities fall into 3 types: standard, combine, and reaction, but more on that later. Let's talk about defense first, because that's important. In the deployment stage, you can deploy hero cards into your defense pile. A card's defense value is indicated by a number on the blue shield icon. Once the card is in your defense pile, that is where it stays, and it cannot be used to launch attacks or use its special ability. The defense card absorbs damage from attacks, so a 2-value defense card may absorb 2 damage from an attack. However, defense cards cannot be split and must be discarded whole, so a 1 damage will still mean you have to discard your 2 defense card if that's the only card you have. But also, damage does not carry over, so if you only have a 2 defense card and someone attacks you for, say, 5 damage, then you still only lose the 2 card, because, you see, you discard defense cards until the damage is met or exceeded. If you only have 2 cards left, then you discard that card and leave the player vulnerable. If you have no defense cards and are vulnerable, any amount of damage takes you out of the game. You might be thinking, aha, but if I have a 2 and a 3 defense card and I take 4 damage, do I only discard the 3 card? Hell no, pay attention, you discard both, because you must meet or exceed the damage with your available defense cards. Remember, sacrificed defense cards must be placed face up in the discard pile next to the deck. Neatly. Did you get all that?
No.
Too bad, moving on. Now, let's talk about using hero cards to attack. After the deployment stage of your turn is the launching stage, where you can use your hero cards to either attack or use their special ability. You'll notice that hero cards have icons at their side. These indicate what kind of weapons they are capable of launching. You can use a hero card with sword proficiency, for example, to launch a sword attack at an opponent of your choosing. You'll notice some attacks have a little plus icon next to them. This means that your character specializes with this weapon, and you can use the attack to deal damage to all of your opponents. Once you've made your attack, you place the hero card and the attack card or combo you just used into the discard pile face up. And then your opponent throws away the defense cards they sacrificed to block your damage, also face up, remember to be neat. If you don't want to use the launching round to launch a prepared attack, you might instead want to use a hero's card's special ability.
Oh my, I have a special.
Yes, that's right, darling, very special, move away now please. Written at the bottom of each card is their special ability, and those abilities can be used instead of an attack in most cases. The ability might let you steal someone's defense cards, or some of their attack cards, or take a card from their hand. But there are also reaction special abilities, such as Flex. Reaction special abilities aren't used in a launching round, but instead at any time to basically cancel any action taken against you. It's one you definitely want to keep ready. It's true I am the best card. Well, each card has their strengths and weaknesses. Yeah, sure. But reaction abilities like Combo, for example, can reflect damage back onto the attacker. There are also hero cards with Combine abilities, which are a bit more tricky, but very powerful. When you use a hero card to launch an attack, you can play a card with a Combine ability alongside that hero card to modify the attack or take another action. Let's look at Rampage, for example. If you play an attack and combine it with Rampage, it will let you use another hero card, potentially letting you use 2 separate attacks. The final point about hero cards is that some of them are not very heroic. NPC cards don't have any attack potential or special ability. It doesn't feel great to say, but sometimes you just need a reliable human shield. And these folks are that.
Remember to be careful with your resources. Reduce, reuse, reanimate.
Absolutely psychotic. Moving on. Now we've explained the cards, it's time to get started with the fighting.
Oh boy, it's time to play the game.
That's right, horrifying snake creature. Here we go. The game starts by dealing clockwise until everybody has 2 hero cards in their defense pile. Remember, hero cards in the defense pile can only be used as defense cards, so this is a way to ensure nobody starts the game vulnerable. Once everybody has 2 defense cards, any spare cards dealt are shuffled back into the deck. Everybody adds up their total defense score from the numbers shown on the shield icons, and the person with the lowest defense score goes first. If people are tied with a low defense score, then the player most immediately clockwise to the dealer goes first. Now that we found out who's going first, let's deal everybody 7 cards. And we begin. The first player's turn is separated into 2 actions, the deployment stage and the launching stage. In the deployment stage, they may deploy 3 cards. Now, these can be hero cards into the defense pile, or attack cards, either played by themselves or else organized into combos. It's important to point out that once your attack cards are in a combo, they cannot be separated. It's also important to point out that the maximum number of cards you can deploy over the rounds is limited. You can only deploy 6 defense cards, and you can only deploy 3 of each weapon and 3 of each types of magic card. So it's important that you deploy your cards carefully.
But wait, old elf scum. Is not true that some special abilities allow player to ignore deployment limitation?
That's absolutely right, Moog, you awful prick. Playing certain special abilities will let you ignore deployment limitations, and it will say so on the card. Speaking of which, once you have deployed your 3 cards, it's time for the launching stage. Here you can play a hero card to launch a prepared attack, to do damage to your rivals, or use their special ability to confound your opponents in other ways. When you launch an attack, carefully put your attack cards and then the hero cards you use to launch the attack into the discard pile, face up, neatly.
I don't really want to be punched in the face at all. How do I stop that?
Simply by ensuring you always have defense cards in your defense pile. So long as you have even a single weak, pathetic hero card left.
Whoa, easy, buddy.
You can withstand any attack, but once you're vulnerable, taking any attack, no matter how weak, feeble, and pathetic,
Hey!
will put you out of the game. Once that happens, you must put all your remaining cards into the discard pile face up, starting with attack cards and then hero cards, neatly. Once the first round is over, from here on in you pick up 3 cards from the deck before you begin your turn, unless your hand is already empty, in which case you pick up 7 cards. Now, I expect you're all wondering what happens when the deck is depleted. Ahem. Claudia.
Jesus Christ. Fine. What happens when the deck is depleted?
I'm glad you asked. Once the deck is depleted, we take the discard pile, and without shuffling, we flip it over so it becomes the new deck. This is why we keep the discard pile tidily next to the deck, with all the discarded cards face up. It's also why we discard our cards in careful order, attack cards first, then hero, with each player discarding on their turn or in clockwise turn if multiple players are taking damage. Now, some of you are wondering why we don't shuffle the discard pile before it becomes the deck. Ahem. Claudia.
I'm not doing it.
The reason we don't shuffle is that the new deck is probably filled with pre-made weapon combos that will make the next rounds more dangerous. If you have a good sense of where things are in the deck, you can plan your strategy a little more. Needless to say, we keep playing like this round after round until everybody is dead and only one victor remains. Now, there's just one more rule before you can get started. The diplomacy round. And all it means is during the first round, nobody may launch an attack in their launching phase. They may deploy 3 cards, but no launching attacks. Play continues as normal after this round, and all the diplomacy round really does is make sure everybody's nice and prepared for the game so nobody gets kicked out too quickly, and we can all have fun. Now, dear listener, you have everything you need to start playing Murder Hobo Tavern Brawl. The rest of this instructional video is going to be me going through each card's special ability in detail and explaining a few fun but entirely optional rules. Ahem. Still here? Okay, here we go then. First, the optional rules. Players must agree to using these rules at the start of the game. No suddenly moving the goalposts like an underhanded bastard.
What are people looking at me for?
Optional rule number 1. Blood feud. Experienced players may realize that once the rounds get to a one-on-one standoff, that standoff can last for a long time, depending on the skill of the player. If you're playing casually and want to keep things rolling, then play blood feud. What this does is ensure that when there are only 2 players left, damage can carry over to the player from any attack. This is important because damage not carrying over is usually central to the combat strategy of Murder Hobo Tavern Brawl, and Blood Feud switches that up. This means if you have a defense card with only 1 point, and someone hits you for 2 or 3 or 8, the excess damage hits the player, taking them out of the game. This means that big swings and panic defense stacking are back in fashion. Optional rule number 2. Mob rule. If a player can get one of each NPC into their defense pile, they win by popular mandate. You need to make sure 1 town elder, 1 town official, 1 town guard, 1 barkeep, and the stand-in Firemaster card are all in your defense pile. That's the secret win condition of this optional rule. Now let's have a look at the card special abilities, starting with the standard ones. Rage. If you play this card's special ability, Rage lets you deploy any remaining weapon cards in your hand. You might be wondering why this is useful, but as the card lets you ignore deployment limitations, it's a good way to stack some extra weapon combos and also clear out your hand. The magic equivalent of Rage is Focus. Shield. Shield behaves a little like Rage and Focus, but allows you to play all the remaining hero cards in your hand into your defense pile, ignoring deployment limitations. In the right circumstances, using Shield can give you a huge defense boost. Disarm. Playing this allows you to pick an opposing player's weapon card or combo and put it in the discard pile. It's petty, I know, but if an opponent is planning a big axe or bow attack, you can cancel that nonsense straight away. The magic equivalent of this card is Dispel. Raid. A step up from Disarm or Dispel is Raid, which allows you to take a player's weapon or magic card or combo and put it into your hand. If someone has spent a lot of time preparing a particularly egregious attack, you can use this special ability to just nick it. It's yours now. Charm. Bards can use Charm. This allows you to take a defense card from an opponent's defense pile and put it straight into your own defense pile. It ignores deployment limitations too, so even if your defense pile is maxed out, you can still use this ability. Resurrect. This sneaky ability lets you take 2 cards from the discard pile and put them into your hand. Very handy if an opponent has just been forced to throw away a particularly strong card or combo. Intimidate. One for the scary boys. Play the Intimidate special ability to take one card from each of your opponent's hands. They don't have to show you their hand, and you may pick at random. This one's good for annoying all your opponents at once and increasing the size of your hand. Tactician. If you have a particularly strong hero locked in your defense pile, Tactician is ideal. Discard the Tactician card and then take any card from your defense pile back into your hand. And then, crucially, you may play another hero card. Not necessarily the hero card you just took from your defense pile, but any hero card in your hand. Summon. If your hand is looking a bit gash, use Summon to swap your deck out for 7 cards. Discard your current hand and take 7 more. Only really useful if your hand is utter dog shit, which can happen. As an added bonus, you can then play another hero card in your hand. Sticky Web. This special ability is useful as it lets you pick a player to miss a turn. If a player is getting too big for their boots, use this card to take them out of play for a round. They may not draw, nor deploy, nor launch. They just have to sit there like a big pudding. Wondrous Goo. A powerful card as it means all opposing players must miss a turn. This effectively allows the wielder to take another turn immediately, which can be very useful indeed. Banish. Things not going your way? Get super petty about it with Banish. All your opponents must discard 3 cards from their hand into the discard pile. Be careful with its use though. If your opponents only have 3 cards, this means they'll have an empty hand on their turn and draw 7. If they only have 4 cards, it's a lot more satisfying. Magic Bomb. A special ability that is purely about mischief. Magic Bomb deals 2 points of damage to all players, including yourself. Why is that useful? Well, there are certain circumstances where this is a total game winner, and certain circumstances where it just makes everything worse for everyone. So, win-win, really. Now let's talk about reaction cards.
Holy shit, are you still talking?
Not much longer now, I promise. Have patience with an old man. You can play reaction cards at any time when an action is taken against you. Flex. Flex is the catch-all reaction card. If someone tries to damage you, steal your cards with Raid, Disarm, Intimidate, Charm, anything really, then you can play Flex. You are absolved from the action, and you discard the reaction card as you would taking a regular special action.
Counter. Counter doesn't cancel any damage taken against you, but rather, if you survive the attack, any damage taken against you will have to be sacrificed by the player attacking you.
Which can be a really nasty surprise for them if you time it right. Tribute. Playing Tribute means you still take damage from an attack as normal, but you get to keep the attack cards used against you, so rather than the attacker putting them into the discard pile, you put them in your hand. Save this one for those really juicy combos. Now let's talk about combined special abilities. These are a bit more complicated but have big payoffs. Smite. If you launch an attack with a hero card, you can combine Smite with that attack to double the damage. Perfect if you want to take a big swing, particularly against multiple players. Drain. Using Drain weakens your attack, but means you get to take all of the defense cards sacrificed to mitigate the damage into your defense pile, ignoring deployment limitations. It weakens your attack by halving the damage of the attack and rounding down to the nearest one, but every single defense card affected by the attack goes straight into your defense, so the payoff can be pretty sweet if you play it properly. Rampage. Potentially the most powerful ability in the game, if it lines up right. Make an attack with a hero card as normal, but play Rampage as a combined card. When your opponents have resolved their damage to the attack, you may now play another hero card in your hand. This effectively allows you to make 2 separate attacks, which is perfect if you want to break someone's defense and then put them out of the game. Combined cards can't be stacked, so you can only play 1 combined card per attack you make.
'Tis only right, for Dorag punishes those who succumb to greed and hubris.
Thank you, Crazy Religious Nut, for your input. Well, there we have it, dear listener. You should have everything you need to play a few rousing hands of your compatriots. Sure, there are deck expansions out there, maybe with a few other special abilities, but I trust you to work that out for yourself. Now get out there and kill some bastards, you rapscallion, you.